Hayes with Fight Hub TV here in partnership with Play Undisputed, available now on PS5 and Xbox. Nonito, fight week, huge fights, man. Let's get to last night's fights. Times Square, New York City. A lot of fight fans disappointed about the show. What'd you see?
It was a good fight. It was a good fight that has a lot of possibility of all of them fighting each other, like a Royal Rumble, you know. But some fights weren't as great for fans because they want that kill, you know, like gladiator and knockout and stuff like that. But sometimes you gotta work smart, you know. If you're there to win rather than try something and get caught with something, you know, you just gotta be smart. The W makes you win, makes you go to the next fight, gives you another opportunity. So
a lot of people made, multiple disappointing fights, but one moment of the night was Devin Haney comeback fight. Everybody expected him to show up big versus Jose Ramirez. I talked to Tim Bradley earlier. Tim Bradley said he looked like he had PTSD, running around, didn't want to get touched, didn't want to get hit. What'd you see with Devin Haney's performance?
I mean, you got to look at Ramirez. Ramirez is a great champion too. You know, he's not just a nobody. You know what I mean? Ramirez is out there and doing his thing, pressing the fight. You know, and Haney is doing his boxing. You know, I think that he needed to throw more jabs, more feints to kind of stop the whole thing. But you know, that's a learning lesson, you know, and sometimes there might be a little hint of that as well, of not getting caught, you know, but it did show what he's learned in his last fight, you know, but every fight, every win gets you to the next level to keep growing.
How about Ryan Garcia? Rolly Romero being the one that comes out with the win. Everybody thought that it was going to go the other way. Ryan Garcia comprehensively outboxed and dropped in the second round. What do you think about the fight?
I'm so happy for my boy Rolly. You know, he fought very disciplined, very smart. You know, he didn't get over crazy with just trying to throw powers and stuff like that. He had great defense and stuff like that. So for me, I was very happy with what he did. You know, and most of all, the way he did it in terms of being so disciplined throughout the whole fight. A lot of people can't do that. You know, it's very hard to have the focus to do the same thing over and over and over. And he did it. And he just shows another view of what Rolly can do.
Teofimo Lopez, one going away versus Barbosa. Probably the most impressive, if there was the most impressive of the night. A lot of people thought it was Rolly, but a lot of people thought it was Teofimo Lopez. What did you see with Teofimo?
Teo did his thing. He shows how athletic he is. You know, and, you know, he got caught with some big shots too, but Barbosa tried to do what he needed to do in terms of just being persistent, but it wasn't enough for the talent and the skills that he showed. You know, that Teo showed up.
A couple hours away, Canelo Alvarez, Cinco de Mayo weekend, Saudi Arabia. What do you think about Canelo in school?
Canelo, I've never really seen schools too much, but if you know, he's a champion and
counter-puncher.
But that's the
right
thing.
Hand,
both of them.
Happy.
Both of them are counterpunchers, you know, and I believe that being a counterpuncher and knowing that Canelo, he's gonna slip to those punches to get inside and deliver heavy blows like he always does, you know. But Scholes has to just use that jab and throw that straight right down the middle, and you know, he didn't become a champion just because, you know, he became a champion because he became a champion. He won it, you know, and so I think that. That it's going to be a little bit tough because as a Cuban fighter, you cannot underestimate Cuban fighters.
I understand. Okay, tomorrow, opponent of yours, past opponent of yours, Naoya Inoue, the monster, comes to Las Vegas fighting Ramon Cardenas. What do you expect to see from Inoue?
You know, I think Inoue is going to go out there the way he always does. You know, use his speed, use his footwork, use his power. You know, to intimidate his opponent. He's gonna go out there try to take the fight as early as he can. But sometimes, you know, a Mexican fighter has more grits, more courage than a lot of fighters that he's fought. So I think it's gonna be a good fight. But I think Inoue wins the fight.
What's the most difficult thing, you know, firsthand? What's the most difficult thing about Inoue early in the fight?
He's dangerous. He's very, very dangerous, and he has quick speed. that you don't see sometimes, you know. So he's very, very dangerous. I mean, throughout the whole fight, he still got the power too. So he's dangerous overall.
And you talked about one thing earlier that piqued my interest, and I wanted to get a chance to pick your brain about it. A lot of people make a big deal about how many punches a guy can throw, how hard he hits, what angles he takes, but we don't ever talk about what a guy can take. We only talk about what he can dish out. You put one of the greatest beatings on Inoue that he's ever taken, succumbing to an eye socket injury against you, fighting with an eye socket injury, showing an immense level of heart, showing all the level of heart that he had. Talk to us about the grit that Inoue possesses that you know firsthand.
That was something that I was very, very surprised, you know, to be able to have the level of talent that he has and skills. He showed up. He showed up when I fought him. He showed up and took those shots, man. And you can't build those in somebody, you know. It comes from within, you know. And he got up. He didn't panic. I mean, you know, he got up from it mentally. You know, he didn't panic that he couldn't see. You know what I mean? He kept it composed. You know, even when he got dropped too, with Neri, he didn't panic. You know what I mean? So he shows what type of mentality that he has. Just a true warrior.
In those moments, what was the look in his eye that you saw? Because naturally, you can look across from you and see your opponent injured. You looked at it. You looked in Inoue's eyes. You saw the broken eye socket, but you saw what else did you see?
He played it really well. I couldn't even tell. He played it really well. Yeah, so.
You weren't sure that he was hurt.
No, exactly.
If you were sure, then
I would have gone out there.
Oh
yeah, I would have gone out there, 100%.
Sure. So he's got a good poker face.
I think he out of all the people that I fought, I think he has the best poker face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, there you have
all
it.
right,
What's
brother.
your expectation for the fight? What do you think about?
I think
he
wins the fight by knockout. You know, but that's pretty much, you know, what we expect him to do. So what we're looking at right now is not looking past Cardenas, but for us fans, we want to see the Nakatani fight. We want to see that kind of, you know, that kind of thing.
He mentioned yesterday Nakatani fight. He said that he recognizes that the Nakatani fight is the battle for Japan.
Yep.
And that he's tossing his hat in the ring. He wants to represent Japan as the best fighter. What do you think
beautiful.
about that?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
How do you think that matchup goes? The tall,
we got to see, man. I can't really assess it at this moment because both guys got power. We know that Inoue got dropped by a southpaw, so that might be something that can add to the drama. But you know, man, it is what it is, brother. So
lastly, for me, what advice would you have for Cardenas? You've been there.
Like I said, man, just keep your hands up, press it until you got no space. Don't ever give him that space. Because you give him that space, he can play. When you get time to play, that's when the power and speed comes. So give him
Get close,
no space.
Stay close.
Yep, exactly.
So you're going to appreciate your champ.
All right,